Hey everyone, welcome to ClubCal Online. My name is Grace, I'm here with Arash, and we are gonna take you guys through a Mobility 360 class. So what you'll need today, if you have a yoga mat or just some comfortable floor space, will work perfect. We also have a couple of PVC pipes. If you guys have those, or wooden dowel, broomstick handle, hockey stick, anything like that will work for what we're doing. And we also have just some really light plates. So we have a 5-pound plate, a 2.5-pound plate to add weight to our PVC pipe. This is totally optional if you don't have plates at home. I've seen people wrap like ankle weights around the PVC pipe, but also you can do all these movements without the extra weight. That's just an added option. And then some kind of platform, a chair, a bench, a couch, something you can stand on will work for this, all right? So once you guys are ready, we're gonna start to warm up the shoulders just by taking some arm circles. So we're gonna take the right arm and we're just gonna take it in a big circle backwards. And all we're doing is just trying to get some blood flow through that shoulder joint. I'm not too particular with your form here, although we do wanna keep the elbow locked. We're gonna make this same movement with the PVC pipe, so this is just kind of a good way to get the shoulder ready for where we're going. We're going to focus mainly on hamstring mobility, so a lot of compression type movements, and then all kinds of shoulder movements. Let's go ahead and reverse directions with that arm. So same arm, we're just going the other way. Excellent. And make sure that with this movement and every movement that we do today, that you keep it through a pain-free range of motion. If somewhere along that circle there's pain or grinding that doesn't feel good, maybe smaller range of motion. Perfect. And then let's take it to the other side. Let's get that left arm going, or whatever arm you didn't just use. Real big arm circle. Try to get your scap to move with the arm, so the scapula is moving forward, up and down. Elbow is locked. You'll probably feel a nice shoulder stretch right here in this position. Yep, there it is. How you feeling? Mobility can be hard work, yeah. And then let's switch directions. Let's take that arm the other way. Big circle. Tighter on that side? Yeah, okay. More facial expressions on this left arm. That's my tight side too. Yep. It's pretty normal, guys. You'll notice this at home as you're going through this. One side is always typically stronger than the other. We usually have a side that's tighter than the other. Totally normal. And let's roll out the wrists. So we're gonna take arms out front, elbows locked, and just take some hand circles. We're gonna do a little bit of wrist and elbow mobility exercises as well, just to kind of keep those joints healthy. Good, yep, keep circling, just gonna get some blood flow through the wrist. In calisthenics, we do a lot of stuff on our hands, with our hands, and that can sometimes cause elbow problems, so we're gonna work through that a little bit today. Let's reverse that direction. Going the other way. How you doing? It's making you work your brain too to get those circles.
Both like the same way.
That's funny. And shake it out. All right, we're gonna grab the PVC pipes here. We're gonna start with our wrist and elbow movements. So you can grab that, guys. So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna grab that dowel. And kind of bring the arm out in front of you, and elbow is locked. So the more length you have in front of you, the harder it's gonna be, so you can always shorten that stick if you need to. And then from here, you're just gonna pull the end of the dowel up towards your shoulder and then go really slow back down. Okay, and we're gonna take this for a nice long 45 seconds. I'm gonna join in on this as well. And it's a good idea to keep an eye on your elbow. What we don't want is bending at this end range. You're only going as far as you can without bending that elbow. And again, if you have a lot of length on that dowel and you can't quite lift it, make it a little bit shorter. Good, and all we're doing is just strengthening this side of our forearm and elbow What we do in calisthenics is a lot of this side, right? So it's really a good idea to even it out every once in a while. Strengthen the top of the forearm. Can just help keep our wrists and elbows healthy. And rest. We're gonna keep that dowel on the same hand, but now you're gonna bring the long side behind you. Okay, so just like so that palm is right by your side, and now we're gonna lift that end of the dowel up towards your shoulder, but in the other direction. Yep, just like that. And we're gonna go for 45 seconds here. Excellent, and again, the goal is to keep that elbow locked. More length going that way is gonna make it more challenging. Less is gonna make it a little easier. You might be feeling it in your triceps as well. How's that feel? Yeah, good. And these movements are not super exciting. They're a little more on the boring side, but really valuable for the health of our elbows. I got about 10 more seconds here. These can also serve as a great warm-up before you do any kind of handstand training, planche training, pulling, and rest. All right, we're gonna move that dowel over to the other hand, starting with the forward one. Exact same thing we did before. And begin. We got 45 seconds here. Excellent. And again, I'd encourage you to keep your eye on your elbow the whole time. That way, if it starts to bend, you can adjust in real time. Think about pushing the elbow forward as you pull that dowel backwards. And again, it's not very exciting, but really good for those elbows. We got about 10 more seconds here. This is also a great exercise to add in between your big strength movements. As you're resting, maybe you're doing a leg day, just in between, get 30 seconds to a minute of these. All right, let's bring that dowel to the back side. Same thing we did before. That hand is right by the hip, and now we're pulling it up towards the shoulder and back down. Aiming to keep that elbow straight. And again, I always feel this one a lot in my tricep. That's totally normal. Good, and remember to take it slow, especially on the way down. I like to think of like a 1 or 2 count up, and then like a 3 to 5 count on the way down. We got about 15 more seconds here. Nice, way to go slow on that. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. We're just gonna go through one round of that today, guys. If you have more time on your own, you wanna pause the video, get some more reps of that, awesome. Otherwise, we're gonna move on to shoulder. So we're gonna continue to work with the PVC pipe. This time, we're just gonna take some shoulder dislocates. So the PVC pipe is out front, palms face you, and you wanna be wide enough that you can go all the way up and over your head and back down to the back side. All right, we're gonna start with just 30 seconds of this. No weight on our first round, and I'll give you guys the option to add weight when we get into the next rounds. Good, good, good. Perfect. Yes, and you guys will all notice, if you can see Arash, his shoulders are moving with his hands, right? So when he comes to the top here, his shoulders are elevating, then they're going forward, kind of following the path of that dowel. And then on the back side, they're retracting. Let's do one more here. That's 30 seconds, but let's get one more all the way back and forward. Good, good, good. All right. And it's tough, especially if you have tight shoulders. This position right here is gonna be a big stretch. So now we're gonna go shoulder extension. So you're gonna bring that dowel around to your back, palms face forward, and this time you want hands shoulder width apart. So we don't wanna go super wide on this one. We want shoulder width apart. Let me stand to the side so the camera can see what you're doing. So from here, guys, you're gonna roll your shoulders down away from your ears, retract, and then we're just gonna lift the dowel as much as you can. When you can't lift it anymore, we're gonna start to fold forward into a pike. So we're starting to combine our shoulders and lower body flexibility. Yep, he's going slow. Then when we come back up, you're gonna keep the dowel lifted. So we're trying not to bring it back down to our hips. We're gonna keep it lifted, okay? We're gonna do this for 30 seconds and begin. And we haven't really spent a lot of time warming up the legs, so ease your way into this. This is probably not gonna be your deepest forward fold, your most advanced pike. We're just warming our way into it. It's harder than it looks, right? Yeah, good. Pull that dowel back, retract the shoulders. Yeah, good stuff.
Stop here, you don't want to go all the way.
Right, yeah, you want to try to hold it high at the top. Let's get one more rep. Find that forward fold. Yeah, pull the dowel towards the floor. Very nice, and then hold it at the top, hold it at the top, and relax. Nice job. All right, you guys, we're gonna go into a second round of those same exercises. This time, if you were feeling okay with that movement, you can add some weight. Again, we're using plates, any kind of object that you can get on your dowel to add weight will work. You don't need a ton, probably not more than 5 pounds. So he's gonna add the 2.5. And we're gonna go, we'll go a little longer than 30 seconds this time. And begin. Excellent, good, good, good. And remember, guys, we wanna keep this in a pain-free range of motion. If there's a part of this movement that is painful and not just, muscle burning, you can always go wider. You can even lose the dowel and just do arm circles, right? This is not strength training. We're not trying to max out here. We're just trying to take care of our joints. How's that feel? 2.5 pounds can be a lot. Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah, try to keep your full grip on that dowel or as much as possible when you come to the back end. Woo, let's do one more rep. We'll take it to 45 seconds. Very nice. Excellent. All the way back over. Nice. Okay, we're gonna take it back around to the backside. Again, option with or without weight. The nice thing about having weight in this one is that weight does kind of help pull you into the stretch a little bit. And then again, we'll go for about 45 seconds again on this one. And go for it. Yeah, he's psyching himself up for it. I know it's tough. All right, guys, if you're tight in your hamstrings, if you're tight in your shoulders, this one's gonna be, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a struggle. It's like, yep, check. That's all right, that's all right. That's why we're doing it. Good. And that weight should kind of help pull you into the stretch a little bit. Keep it through pain-free range of motion. Nice, nice job. Good, let's get one more good rep, yes. 2.5 pounds is a lot on this movement. Good job, good job, good job. All right, you guys can go ahead and shake those arms out a little bit, shake those wrists out. We're gonna stop at 2 rounds. Feel free to pause the video, get another set. I think Arash is probably ready to move on. No more sets. All right, so the next one, we're gonna do a Jefferson curl into shoulder flexion. So again, we're combining the lower body mobility with the upper body mobility. This is where you're gonna use your platform and you're gonna come up here with or without the weight. So for this one, your limiting factor is going to be your shoulder. So you want a weight that you can lift above head. So hands are shoulder width apart. You're going to start by curling your spine 1 vertebra at a time. So tuck your chin first, then upper back, then mid back, then lower back. Legs stay straight. Going to let that weight pull you down into a stretch at the bottom. I'm going to curl back up. Okay, when you get to the top, we're going to bring that weight above head. Shoulder flexion. Okay, the goal is to keep that rib cage in, and then we're gonna go back down the same way. So this one we're gonna spend about a minute doing this just because this movement takes a little bit longer. So get your setup, get whatever weight you want on that. into it. All right, and begin. Let's bring the feet just a tad bit closer if you can. So guys, we do want the feet as close together as possible. If you need them to be a little bit wider for balance, totally okay. Good, get that stretch at the bottom, and then we're curling up. So lower back, mid back, shoulders, and then at the very top, we're going into that shoulder flexion. Nice, yeah, good, good, good. And that is a position that we need for our handstand. Good, curl down. Good, because we're a little over halfway. It might take you longer than a minute so that we can really get some reps in.
Going too slow?
No, that's perfect. Slow is good. And for you guys at home, slow is good. Do not rush through this. We really want to feel each part of the movement as it moves throughout the spine. And then I really like how Arash is pausing at the top, right? So when he gets above head, he's kind of pausing here for a moment, really pulling those biceps behind the ears, and then going back down. We're a little over a minute. Let's take it to about 90 seconds. So let's get one more rep in. Good, good. That's awesome. Excellent. And go ahead and rest. All right, you can put the PVC pipes and weights off to the side. We're gonna come back to that. So now we're gonna use that Pike compression strength a little bit. So we're gonna do some seated compression lifts. You wanna show these ones? Your favorite, everyone's favorite. I don't think anyone actually likes compression, but we really need it for a lot of our calisthenics skills. So you're gonna come into a seated Pike. So both legs out front. Hands on either side of the legs. He's gonna lean forward as much as he can while still being able to lift one leg. So you'll lift one leg up and back down. And we're gonna do 30 seconds per side. You guys can go ahead and begin. Excellent. So we used the last two exercises to kind of create some flexibility and mobility in the hamstrings. Now what we're doing here is we're building strength in that position. And these ones, they suck. They're hard. Good, we're almost there. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Let's go into the other side. Don't worry, we're not gonna do both legs at the same time today. We're just gonna do one at a time. So that should be good news. Go for it. Good, good. Yep, this is tough stuff, but again, really, really necessary mobility for a lot of the skills that we do in calisthenics, right? Our straddle press, our pike press. Good, our L sit. Awesome job, yep. Shaking a little bit at the top, totally normal. 3, 2, and 1. Good, shake it out. We're just gonna reverse that compress movement a little bit with some actually straddle reverse hypers that you talked about earlier. So you're gonna roll over onto your belly, straddle the legs. So that compression, that's our hip flexion. We're gonna try to even that out a little bit by working hip extension. So chest on the ground. Then what you're gonna do is keeping the legs as wide in a straddle as you can. You're gonna lift them up and back down. We're gonna go 30 seconds, go for it. This is another one that's harder than it looks. I feel like that's almost everything we do in calisthenics, right? Looks easy and it is not. So what you guys should be feeling here is the glutes, more so on the outside, right? Outer glute right here. Two things happening, we're lifting the legs, but you're also pulling the legs wide, right? Actively going into that straddle. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Good job. All right, we're gonna go into another round, starting with the Jefferson curls to shoulder flexion. You ready? Mobility is hard work, you guys. It's tough stuff. I always joke that this is always the stuff that we don't do on our own, but the stuff that we usually need the most. All right, we're gonna go 1.5 minutes Whenever you guys are ready, and go for it. And like I mentioned in the very beginning, this can be done without weight. If you don't have weight to add to your bar or you're not there yet, that's totally okay. Just doing this movement and articulating each part of the spine is really, really good for that back. Good. And when we get to the top, think about mimicking that handstand shape a little bit. So the shoulder is pushing up to the ear. It's also pulling behind the ear as well. So you'll see Arash go into that. He's pushing the shoulders up, he's elevating, and he's pulling back. He's also doing a great job of keeping the ribs tucked in and not arching the back. Even with 2.5 pounds, this is difficult movement. It's round 2. Maybe we're feeling a little bit more open, hopefully. Good, good, good. We're gonna go for another 30 seconds, maybe 2-ish more reps. And with the weight, because the shoulders are the limiting factor, it might not be enough weight, especially if you guys are pretty flexible, to pull you down into that stretch. So you might have to get a little active with it, right? Use your hip flexors, use your quads to pull you down into that stretch. Good, we got about 10 seconds. Let's finish up this last rep. Pull that devil behind your ears. There he goes. Very nice. Good stuff. All right, we're gonna come back to the floor. We're gonna do the seated compressions and the reverse hypers. All right, you ready? All right, first leg and begin. Good, good. Okay, so these are tough. These are tougher than they look. If you're not getting hardly any lift at all, right? So if you're like not getting any lift, maybe try sitting up farther. You might even have to lean back if you're pretty tight here in your hamstrings. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go right into the other side, 30 seconds, and go for it. You got it, you got it. Good, so again, and I said this earlier, but what we're doing here is we're creating more range of motion through our hamstrings, but we're not just getting more flexible, we're trying to build strength in that new range of motion. Almost there. Last 5, 4, you got it. Big lift, 3, 2, and rest. Good. All right, we're gonna roll it over onto our bellies. Doing great, doing great. Straddle the legs as wide as you can. We're gonna lift and lower and begin. Ways to make this more challenging, in case it's not. Ankle weights, if you have them, can be a great addition to this one, although, in my opinion, these are challenging enough as they are. Good. I love how Arash is pausing at the top. He's really engaging at that end range of motion, right? Spending more time at the top than he is at the bottom. That's awesome. 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're gonna go through one more round. We're gonna change things up just a little bit. When we go to our Jefferson curl to overhead, this time we're gonna do it in a straddle. So if you guys are using a chair and you don't have a lot of space, it might have to be a small straddle, and that's okay. It's whatever, if you have a bench or a coffee table or something where you can get a little bit wider, you're gonna do that. If you can't, then you can stick to that pike or just go kind of a narrow straddle. We're gonna go at kind of like a 90-degree straddle with toes facing forward, and then the movement pattern is exactly the same. All right, we got about 1.5 minutes. So we're still working our hamstring mobility, but it's gonna change just a little bit with the legs in the straddle. And then the movement of the shoulders is the same, overhead. Pushing shoulders up to ears, pulling back, ribs in. Very nice. This is the last time we're doing this today, guys, so really give it your best effort. And this stuff is challenging. If you've got really tight shoulders in that overhead position, which a lot of us do as adults, this is hard. This is really hard. Good. There's a few lucky ones who just have great shoulder mobility, but that's the minority from my experience. Most of us have tight shoulders. We're a little over halfway. That's awesome. Get active at the bottom, pull yourself into that stretch. There we go. Excellent. We got about 20 seconds left. Let's try to get one more nice slow rep in here. And really working at that end range of motion, right? Here when we're in our forward fold, and then at the top. Nice job. Good, one more. Yes, beautiful. All right, we're almost there, guys. All right, we're gonna change our seated compression a little bit. This time we're gonna do those leg lifts in a straddle, okay? So this one's a tad bit more challenging. So you're gonna be in your straddle. You're gonna turn towards one leg, hands on either side, and you're gonna lift and lower, okay? And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. This one is a little bit harder on those hip flexors. So again, even if you're barely getting any lift at all, it is totally okay because you're still gonna be working your hip flexors and quads. 30 seconds, go for it. Oh, nice. There's some, I know, the straddle does make it more intense on those hip flexors. Do the best you can. Good. And again, guys, if that leg is not lifting at all, it's okay because you're still gonna feel it in those hip flexors. You're still gonna feel it in the quads. It will get better with time and with practice. You got it, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. Good, yes. 3, 2, and rest. Good, all right, other side. 30 seconds of work here, and begin. Nice job. Good, it's hard work, this mobility training. And this range of motion, it's not necessarily as important just for general hip health. It is a little bit more specific to some of the skills we do in calisthenics. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Good. All right, we're gonna flip it over onto our bellies. The last one is not gonna change. We're gonna do it the exact same way we've done it in the last 2 rounds, all right? We have 30 seconds of work that we're gonna slow down, take a quick stretch at the end. All right, legs are straddled, and begin. Awesome, and this one, this type of movement translates really well into our planche training. If you're a little bit more advanced and working towards that straddle planche, you have to be able to hold your legs up in the air, right? So this is strengthening those glutes, strengthening those hamstrings. Good, we're almost there, last 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Nice work. Let's take a quick figure 4 stretch. So come up onto your mat, bring ankle over the opposite knee, and just hold it here. You can take a little side to side movement if that feels good. Did a little bit of everything today. We got those wrists and elbows, got the shoulders, got the hips and hamstrings. And you guys can start to slow it down a little bit, take some deep breaths. How you feeling? Good, yeah, it is tough.
More flexible now.
Good, excellent. Good, let's switch sides. Good, yeah, mobility training is not easy. And just a reminder for you guys at home, if this mobility workout was really tough, did feel really challenging, again, this is hard stuff, but it does get easier with time. So the more you practice it, the more you train it, you can get deeper into that pike stretch, you get more range of motion overhead. It just takes time and practice. And go ahead and release. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next time.